All right. I haven't shared this yet, but I'm fixing to. Alrighty. Good morning. Nobody's in here yet, but they're fixing to be. Good. There we go. Hey, there's some people here. Yeah, I just was sharing this in the Unbearables app real quick. Oh, didn't know he was streaming. Well, you know what? He's been on for 3 hours already this morning. Jeez, I missed all of that. Nice job, Andrew J. Actually, in my feed, you're not first. Mayor is first. Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. Good night. Little flavored water to get the morning going here. Coffee will happen. I've brewed it, and so it's on its way. Good morning. You know what? This light is kind of obnoxious. Hang on a second. Can I do that? Yeah. All right. It's the one above me. That's the one that I need to deal with. There we go. That's better. So at Tech Bear is in here. What's up with that? Who's Tech Bear? I don't know if I've met. Is that Mr. Nicktown? Ooh, UNN. Nice. Hey, there's Tech Bear. Awesome, Tech Bear. Welcome. It's cool to get more bears up in here. Enjoy your wrench. You are now part of Wrench Life, sir, or ma'am, or I don't know which. No offense. Hang on a second. I'm gonna do something as well for good old Tech Bear right here. I have to. Oh, why can't I do that? See, I want to go to Tech Bear's channel. Hang on. Well, you never know. I mean, it could happen that, a lady could be a tech bear. I've met some pretty technical ladies. Granted, it's not the norm. Let's see. All right. The tech bear. That isn't you. That's not your profile picture. Yeah, it brings up some other weird stuff. That's probably not you. Oh, I got to do the pop-out chat because I got to pop it into a separate window. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Kodiak. What's going on here? What's happening, everybody? Oh, cool. Well, guess what? Done subscribed it to you. How do you like that? I always like to subscribe to people who have clearly earned it. Honky, good morning. It's good to see all y'all. So we got Tech Bear up in here. We got Kick Ya up in here. All up in here. Mr. Nicktown, Mayor, Andrew J, Dom. Man, so cool to have everybody this morning. And hey, Slaughter Bart Fest. You know what? I can't say that I've never watched a stream of anybody's while in that position. Slaughter Bart Fest. I probably have, maybe more than once. And I think that's one of the things that we can do these days with the freedom that cell phones afford us. We can take, meetings, interactivity, all that kind of stuff to places we never would have taken the old corded phones that used to be hanging on our wall. Although I know there were some people that probably took the phone into the bathroom even when it was on the wall. It was a corded thing. I'm sure that happened. Mr. Nick Down, cracking me up. It's funny. All right. So it's a beautiful morning, and I'm not planning on doing a long one today. Today's going to be a little bit shorter. I've got some stuff to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to arrange that because I know I'm going to be busy. I'm going to start having like a week of time with my kiddos, and we're going to be going camping over the weekend is the plan. Not too far from here. I don't know whether there'll be internet where we're headed, but we should be back. I mean, we're not going to leave until sometime, I would imagine, tomorrow. So we've got some time before I'm away from internet. But 4 children being awake while I'm trying to do a stream is going to be interesting. I'm sure that won't be what you would call logistically simple. No, I missed the time when you blew up a whale. Canoeing. Oh. Yeah. Is there going to be canoeing, Andrew J? Yes, I intend for us to be canoeing. That has to happen. And maybe there'll be a bit of a stream for some of that. So we'll find out. But we'll capture something. Flip. Okay, so I missed some of that. You guys have some other like inside jokes going on, or it's something that I would understand, but I'm slow. So that's all right though. Guys are cracking me up. I can still enjoy it because it's zany. You know, I was just watching something this morning. I usually get up and I check a few things out on my the Facebook, which I can't stand. But you know, I keep up with family that way. Occasionally, I'm gonna have to find other ways. It's all right, Kiki. I'm right there with you. I'm also feeling a little slow. I woke up and I saw a clip pop into my feed from Norm Macdonald, or I'm Not Norm channel. I think it was that. And it was a video of a joke that Norm didn't understand. It was an old George Burns joke, and he didn't get it. It was some of you may have seen that one. It's definitely one to look for. Yeah, I like to talk to my family as well. Usually my extended family is working, doing things by the time I'm awake. They're out doing other stuff, or they're still asleep, you know, some of them. But I usually save that for the evening times. Yeah, that's a good idea. Say goodnight, Gracie. Yeah, so well done. Thank you for unsquirreling me. I appreciate that. Tech Bear, I'm in Illinois, so you might have it different. Are you in Tejas or another state? Oh, excuse me. Hey, Charity's back. What's going on? That's awesome. Glad to see you. Hashtag totally not a cult. Have you checked this stuff out further since I last saw you, Charity? Are you officially part of the bear community at this point, or you're still hanging back? Are you Charity Bear now, or what's happened? No, okay, that's probably wise. So I was just suggesting that I watched a Norm, or sharing that I watched a Norm Macdonald video from the I'm Not Norm channel. Soy light. Furries are welcome. Let's see here. Arkansas. I just saw that, Tech Bear. Cool. Yeah, my grandparents, my dad's folks used to live there in Bentonville. Nice state. Chair Bear. Nice. Very nice. That's cool. Clarity and charity. Mind blown, as it should be. So at any rate, Pittsburgh for you. Yeah, that's not a bad place to be. I believe that's where Mr. Rogers got his seminary degree. That's an aside. I am trying to get to this Norm thing, and I'm keeping answering stuff. So I'm covering up the chat for a minute. Now, let's see. Norm was saying there's this joke that George Burns told, and he totally didn't understand it, and he was lost as crud. And then he's telling it to other people and saying, maybe you could tell me what the heck it means. And they get it right away. Some other people that had some background in understanding this. And I think the joke went something like it was some vaudeville performers, right? And they got to be on stage with this real famous individual. They were really excited to work with this person. They were going to be on the same bill together, playing the show. Yes, Charity Bear for the win. You're absolutely right. They were going to go do this show together with the famous guy, and they couldn't believe that they got this opportunity. You know, it was a huge deal for them. So later on, they go out to this bar and they see him there. You know, and they think they'd like to introduce themselves a little bit more or talk with them and just tell them, you know, hey, we're really, really honored, these two vaudeville guys, to be playing the bill with you. We can't believe how great an opportunity this is. We're real thankful. And we really like it if we could have the honor of buying you a drink. And he said, no, thank you though, but I'd rather drink alone tonight. You see, I just got I got a wire. This is an old joke, right? I got a wire just a little bit ago that my mother passed away. So I'm not feeling too great about that. I'd rather be alone. And they said, we understand exactly how you feel. We just found out that our trunk is missing. And that's the joke. And Norm's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, everybody else is getting this right away. Jerry Seinfeld eventually explained it to him on his show. He's like, it requires a little bit of an understanding about being in show business in vaudeville, right? See, in vaudeville, your trunk was your life. All your props, all your stuff was in your trunk. That was the thing. You didn't have a trunk, you didn't have a show. You couldn't work, right? It was your life. So it requires a little bit of that understanding. And I guess George Burns had some of that. That's why that was supposed to be funny. And back in the day, people understood vaudeville a little bit better, so he could tell that joke on a show and people would get it. But it was just funny to see that even a guy as quick as Norm, who just plays you like he doesn't get it, constantly has that air, but is really sharp as a tack, can actually not get stuff once in a while. And maybe he did get it, and that was a gag for the show, because he seems to me to be like a really generous comedian who gives space for other comedians to get jokes in the midst of his jokes. I think that's his game. It's like he's not just playing dumb to make people feel more, cool with him, right? Because people always enjoy not being around someone that acts like they're smarter than them. But they much prefer those comedians that seem like they're kind of like Brian Regan. I think he comes off as well as he does because he's kind of like all the time, and it works for them, right? That whole shtick works extremely well. But the idea that they could actually not get something, it seems like it fits with their persona, and yet those of us that have dug into enough of that comedy know that it's like, no, that's totally. I mean, they're geniuses. They're both geniuses. So the idea that they didn't understand something, either they're playing it really deep, they're like 4D underwater backgammon with their comedy at that point, blindfolded, right? Or they are actually not getting it. And it just makes me more engendered to them in a way because they're more human that way. I actually don't get something. Let's see. I'm backtracking here. What? I'm just checking some of these. You guys are killing me. Oh my gosh. All right, so somebody put a link up. Well, what is that? Real YouTube rerun. I don't know what this is. I'll have to find out about that later. Who did that? Who sent that one? Oh, Darn it, that's not what I was trying to do. Store chat. See, when I click on a link and I did it on the chat window, then it gets rid of the chat window, which is not what I was shooting for. Pop out so I can read it properly. When it's in a bigger window, I can see it better. Who was that? That was Charity. Okay, cool. So that was a YouTube rewind. I don't know what's going on there. Who, me? I gotta find out more about that. Dynamite to remove a beached whale. I do remember hearing about that. Was telling us about his plan for Skynet to catch hail covering all of Denver. It could happen, maybe. I don't know. Denver sucks. What's up, Boulder? I didn't see you come in before. That's funny. That's too funny. Awesome. All right, so wait a minute. One more meme that I've got to open here, or one more link that I should open. Let's see. Wait. Let's do this. I wanna do the thing. There we go. See, now I did it without getting rid of the chat box. Now I feel like a champ. I can get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Willamette Week. What is going on? Now you can watch a high quality version of one of Oregon's all-time biggest blubbers. And that's the whale. Okay. Oregon blew up a whale with dynamite. Yeah, I do recall hearing about that. Okay. So I'm gonna be checking that out later because I don't think I've seen it in that level of detail. Yeah, I'm slow. I'm still fairly new to MacBooks, even though I've had one for about a year. Still little details and things that I don't know about it. Acting like their IQ is off the charts. Well, I'm sure that happens with stoners, right? Like if people won't want to smoke pot, fine, but please don't act like stoners are geniuses. Don't drink with Boulder, Iron Bear. Yeah. I've seen some. Maybe not quite pleasantness between the two of you guys at times. I know Iron's pretty hard about the flat Earth stuff, if I recall. All right, Charity, I'm checking out this other video, how to be a moth. What's going on? Oh, well, that's unique. It's an interesting idea. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Rick and Morty runs pretty deep from what I gather. I know they have a unique approach. I've only seen little bits and pieces. At any rate, so I'm going to get to a little bit of what I was going to talk about today, topic wise, so that I get to it and then I get off of here because I've already been on about 18 and a half minutes. But yeah, I've got some things I need to attend to today. I'm going to get started with vacation time with the kiddos and the beautiful lady. And I need to go get new tires for the back of the car today. Probably at some point need to look at buying some other brake pads and replacing them on the back two wheels as well. If I can do that on my own, life will be good. $40 is much more agreeable than, I don't know, a few hundred if I can manage it. Because I've replaced the front ones on my own. I should be able to figure out the back. Hopefully they're like disc, not drum brakes, or the other way around, drum, not disc. Yeah, whatever that is. The drum stuff I could do. The disc, we'll see. At any rate, yeah, we're gonna find out about that. Let's see here. Oh my, man, you guys flip that check quick. Hey, Pender. Yeah, drum brakes are no fun. Disc is easy. You're absolutely right. We will see how that works. At any rate, so yeah, good morning to all y'all. And here we are. This is what's going on. So the other day, what's a PITA? Hang on. I'm not sure. Low tech. Oh, yeah, I'm just reading back. I'm slow. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I hear you on that completely. Yeah, you're fine. You can say ass here. It's allowed. It's a donkey. Big Drum Bear cussed on his live stream. What's going on? I don't usually. It's true. Not at least not on the stream. I am very foul mouthed at other times. I have the tendency to do that. Usually alone or when I'm in the car. Um, those are times when I can see my language amped up in intensity. But speaking of intensity, that leads me segues right into what I want to talk about. So I mentioned the other day that I had a moment of exchange with a good friend of mine, and I was fairly frustrated because I wanted to communicate something, and I didn't feel like I was getting through. Um, they were frustrated because they were thinking of it in a different way, and that sort of spawned yesterday's show a little bit. Um, the whole idea about the KISS stuff and how you can't always do that. There are situations where it's called for, and other situations where you can't oversimplify, because if you do, you're going to miss out on some really important stuff. So, you have to think. No matter what you're doing, you have to engage your mind to work through your problems, because you were given it for a reason. So that situation went down, and then I'm talking to another good friend of mine, and he's having a kind of a rough time. He's been experiencing some different things, and especially health wise. And he's kind of getting told by the doc just recently that he's got to make some life changes, some drastic ones, and they've taken some other medication approach, but this is pretty much like his last shot to get the life changes, the diet changes in order, or otherwise he might not be here. Is kind of what he was sharing. So keep that friend in mind in thoughts and prayers if you can. You can just say Aaron's friend that is dealing with health issues. Let's put it that way. So he was pretty feeling pretty defeated on some things, and we were talking about that, and we often get to discussions of um, faith and in our walk, in terms of that's what it's like that. For those that might not be familiar, it's more like that Christian term of how you're living out the faith you claim to hold, how you're pursuing that relationship with the Creator, kind of thing. And there's plenty of time where we're not bringing trust into that relationship when we've been given a mountain of evidence to trust, right? Like there's so many different examples of why we ought to trust, and we still don't when it counts, at times. But then I was kind of feeling like I needed to encourage him a little bit, because I reminded him of some other scripture passages that both he and I know, where we're told exactly that the was it the heart of man is incurably wicked. Like that's one of the things. I think it's in Proverbs, but I can't tell you where off the top of my head. And we're going to continually be drifting away from where we're supposed to be at with stuff in this trust kind of thing. It's almost like if it was a husband and wife relationship kind of thing. If I continually chose to not trust my wife all the time when she's given me every reason to do so, right? She's given me zero reason not to ever. There might be situations that have come down where things have happened, and I think, well, she could have done X and it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't think about like all these other factors that could contribute to that situation that didn't start from her. You know what I mean? And I forget to include her character the majority of the time. If I were to do that, what kind of relationship would that be? Not a great marriage. But I don't do that. I do take those things into account when we want to get into, I want to get into a fight or frustrated. I check myself as often as I'm able before I start getting off the rails on something, because I try to make it a habit to bring that stuff into mind. And yet I find there are plenty of times where I'm not that quick to do that with God. Um, yeah, he's not here in a sense physically. I don't see him or hear him in the way I do my wife. I can't physically interact with him in the way that I do with my wife. But um, I I can still have an abundance of evidence, at least from my experience. You may have not crossed that bridge. I feel like I definitely have, at various different points in my life, where I see action on my behalf and the behalf of others, um, to draw us along a better path than we would have chosen ourselves. Um, I see that continual activity in my life. And I also have not only a somewhat of a familiarity knowledge with the scripture, but a trust in it because of the research that I've done on it over the years, um, to understand its origins, how it came to us, some of the inexplicable and undeniable patterns that occur in there at levels of complexity that would just blow your mind as you begin to understand it. The levels of um, the levels of attention to detail that went into how those 66 books by over 40 different authors, written in a mixture of 3 different languages on a few different, couple different continents, um, how all of that was compiled and it came to us today. Um, and wasn't complete gobbledygook in comparison to records we have from 1,000 years ago and even 2,000 years ago, of what's still around. The fact that's going on, and that's just hitting the surface of it, but there's so much other stuff under the surface of all of that that I'm continually floored by it the more I learn. So that contributes to my trust in those words as I read them, that's a message, as far as I'm concerned, from the creator of the universe to me to help me get through life. So I taking all this into account, that I have all this stuff, right? All the personal experiences in my life, and then the knowledge I have of the scripture and how it came to me, that I can have reliance in it. Um, and then I still don't choose to trust on some issues. I kind of want to do my own thing. I want to do something that I have little to no evidence is going to be to my benefit or the benefit of those around me. Um, and I was talking with Harold, another friend of mine, about one of these issues, and he had mentioned something to me about a class that he's taught before, um, on some of these types of things, and how you go about making that choice to trust. And I was reminding this friend of mine of some of the things he'd heard from that same teaching. And I was saying, I'm just in the last 24 hours, I've dropped the ball, right? In the last 24 hours, I have, gotten ridiculously angry at my friend and not shown them love. And this is the friend that I was talking about the other night, where he and I were on the phone, and the conversation got heated, and I felt bad about the way I'd handled that, and not shown more compassion, trying to understand where they're coming from. So I felt like I dropped the ball in that, and then that dropping of the ball I used as an encouragement to this other friend to say, we're both doing exactly what we were told we were going to be doing. So that's just more evidence to us that God is telling the truth when he said we were going to screw it up. And then if you think that he's done with you or anything like that, drop that right away, because there's nothing that I could ever do that would surprise God. Right. And that's true of anybody. Now, he doesn't stop me from doing my dumb stuff. Right. He could snap his finger and say, you'll never do the dumb stuff. What would I learn? Right. And then there are people that are not committed or sold out to him, right? They're not in a relationship, and they do horrible, horrendous things. There are people that are in supposedly relationship with him that do horrible, horrendous things. and he doesn't necessarily always stop those things, right? And so we're trying to wrap our heads around that rather, and understand what the heck is going on. Um, has he just stepped out? Is he just saying nope, sorry, done with you? But then these evidences come back up that say, at least to us, maybe we're wrong, but um, I don't know, from the preponderance of the evidence within our circumstances, um, it would suggest to me that no, he's definitely still highly actively involved, and he's still drawing us along. He wants us on this journey. He wants to see us grow, because who knows who we can affect, right? Now, last night I pop into the Hangouts. I caught an article on Facebook or something like that, and it was about the vigilante over in Ukraine getting a hold, or a group of vigilantes, I guess, getting a hold of a guy who I guess there was a decent amount of evidence that he was a pedophile running a pedophilia and child porn ring kind of thing going on. Horrendous stuff that this character had done. And they grabbed that guy and I guess filmed it and put it on video somewhere of them whipping him to death, beating him to death, tied to a post or something. Just horrific stuff. And I shared the article. Now, by the way, if you happen to see that article, I don't advise watching the video. I didn't watch it. And hey, if you want to do that and you got the stomach for it, great. I've had people tell me, hey, check this video, this execution out or something in the past when I've been deployed. And one time I saw one and I said, I wish I had understood what I was about to view there and not viewed it, because it took me a long time to get those images out of my system. And in some ways, maybe you're amped up and prepared for horrific stuff. Great, but I'm not going to go out of my way to subject myself to it unless I'm in like specific guided training to prepare for something I know is coming. Yeah, it's if you don't have to ingest that kind of stuff, I don't recommend it. But yeah, it's still, I mean, great that a pedophile is stopped, and at the same time, more horrificness to see it done. Yeah, it was just interesting to me, and I thought, well, it's a topic for conversation. I'm glad we have a system of law, and I'm not glad that it's not followed through a lot of times, and that people that deserve to get punished for horrific things are not a lot of times. But I have faith that it can be restored. I have faith that people can be held to justice, and ultimately, I think all those people are gonna. But I definitely think that we don't just need to say, oh well, God will take care of them in the end. Like, no, we need to continue to pursue as much as we can, stopping what people we can from destroying the lives of children, or worse, to ending lives. So yeah, I threw that into the Hangouts, and it prompted discussion, and someone spoke up, and mentioned that they'd had molestation issues as a kid from a relative. And that struck me, because they're not the first, and I'm guaranteed they won't be the last who told me that. But I told this person that what a testament their life is to the endurance of the human spirit, and what the human spirit is now capable of, because they've enriched my life a little bit from having been in the Hangouts. I've watched that individual grow a lot since I started hanging around bears, and the positivity that they bring to the table is great, so I'm thankful for that. And yeah, it was really important for me to share that. So another thing that was really dark and disgusting turned into something beautiful. And so it made my day, because I wasn't planning on doing that, but that's how it rolled out. So I'm curious, having shared some of the things there, if you've ever had any moments where, and I haven't watched the chat the whole time I've been talking, just so that I keep on track, and I figure you guys appreciate that. I'm opening it back up now, but let's see here. Yeah, I missed. Oh goodness, people dropping 2 girls 1 cup in there. Is it the newbies? Is that who's saying that? All right, guys, that's funny. Stay away from the chat. Don't look up. Yeah, I thank God I never saw that either. Um, but I'm good not seeing it ever. I know plenty of people who say, "Yeah, you gotta check that out. It's hilarious. It's so great." I'm like, I don't think there's anything great about that one. I'm good. You were rickrolled. Yeah, yeah. I don't have a desire to catch that one. Um, yeah, I would agree. I would agree, Charity. Absolutely. Um, yeah, I agree. I don't need to watch torture either. Best answer. It's good to see you, by the way, this morning. Not a fan of it. Um, are there cases where people need to be punished? Certainly. Um, doesn't mean I need to be thankful for it or grateful, glad to watch it, But it's like in the military, they tell us to use weapons that are not vicious. They're supposed to kill more quickly. Although the M4 M16, they can wound you more so than they kill. I guess they can't kill if you do use it right. Do just one in the head, that'll take somebody out pretty quick. Steve, you rickrolled people. That's funny. That's hilarious. Did you go like Foo Fighters rickroll? Was that what you did? Because that's probably the penultimate was the Foo Fighters rickrolling. You can't beat a Foo Fighters rickrolling with actual Rick Astley popping on stage and singing with him, right? Um, that's too funny. So if I got hit in the pinky with a 5.56, I'd be out of the fight. It's probably not fun, right? I've been hit with a BB gun before, and I've been hit with what is it, simunition rounds, paint rounds, and that's not terrible. It's shot from the same weapon system. Uh, you rickrolled 3,000 people in your radio show. Never seen a gun before. Um, in the military, you're kind of forced to. It's kind of part of the deal, because they need you to be proficient with that kind of stuff. But they're not horrible, honestly. They're I think that once you're around them a bit and you develop an understanding of how to use them properly, not only are you not afraid of them, but you develop a greater confidence, knowing that if there were ever a situation where um, someone needed protection and you were capable of doing that. Um, that's a great feeling. You prefer to stab things. It's funny because it's up close and personal, right? Um, that's an interesting thing. I think I'd have more problem stabbing than I would shooting. But Desmond Doss. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's that. Um, I'd still stab somebody if need be, to protect myself or others. But yeah, I think I would be more preferring to shoot if I had to. Don't want to either one of them, so that's clear. So somebody doesn't come in this channel, not one of you guys, but some other weirdo who wants to say, "Oh, you're an evil bear person," one of those Owen Benjamin fans, and cut my stuff up and say, "Oh, they shoot and stab somebody." I said I would never want to, but be prepared to. Uh, oh wow, yeah. So yeah, if it was a person who'd earned it, I suppose that's appropriate. If it was wartime and had to go out and do my thing, um, yeah, that's one way to take care of that. So yeah, back onto the focus of turning positive things into something, or excuse me, turning horrible things into something positive. Um, let's see here. Oh wow, worked with Desmond, the real Desmond Doss's nephew. That's funny. That's pretty darn funny. Oh, mess with my family and what I would do to that person is beyond your possible imagination. Yes, Steve, you're absolutely right. And I have considered it. I do consider the things that I do. I don't revel in them, but I'm prepared to do them. Right. Um, if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend a book called On Combat by Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman. And go to Steve Pinder's channel and check it out. There is a video where he interviewed Colonel David Grossman, retired Lieutenant Colonel. Guy's a hoot and a half. He's a really smart and cool guy, but he talks about how to mentally prepare yourself for horrific things that you might have to do in defense of yourself and others. He came to our air base here in Illinois, like back in 2009, and gave his Bulletproof Mind seminar. Probably one of the most influential things I've ever sat through. A whole day's worth of training, and I had just gotten off third shift, but I went over and did this and got home in time to get a few hours sleep and get back on shift. So, yeah, best investment they put into me ever at that unit. Super important. Yeah, he's a status, but his book on threat levels, yeah. What's TOOS? I'm not familiar with that acronym. I haven't heard that one before, Honky. Let's see. Oh, that'd be cool. Good. Thumbs. Gotcha. Cool. I hadn't heard that before. That's interesting. Huh. Low-key crying. Cracking me up. So what I love for somebody to do, maybe in the comments section of this later on, drop me a line and share like a horrible situation, or as non-specific as you want to make it, or as specific as you want. Share a situation that maybe you screwed up, or somebody did something that was pretty horrible, but there was a result of that down the road that turned out extremely well. I think back to, I'm often reminded many times of a number of different biblical stories that have stood out to me throughout my life, like Joseph back in the later chapters of the book of Genesis. And Joseph had to say about all this business. His brothers hated him. He was kind of a snot a little bit. Aretha did pass. I saw my mom saying, I hope she gets better or something the other day, but well, yeah, best wishes to her family. Hope that they recover well. I don't know how old she was. I know that my jazz band director from Illinois Central College, Larry Harms, one of the greatest saxophone players I've ever met in my life, one of the greatest teachers for it. He played for her live more than once, as I understand. May have just been once, but I thought it was multiple times. But yeah, what a talented woman. You have the horrible thing. Yes, you do, Honky. You've shared before, and you know what? Feel free to share that again. If you put it in the comment section of the video once it's up, that'd be huge, because I'd love to have some things that people can come back to later and read, and it be an encouragement for them. Like if you can share something like, okay, this happened, but then through that, you've been able to have such and such an experience or collection of experiences that have brought joy into your life and other people's lives. If anybody has stuff like that, I'd love for this video to be a place where people can come to when they're having a dark time and look through these different times where people have had awful times or awful experiences. And then they can see those things get used, get turned around, have evidence that, yes, this happens in people's lives. If it's not something that you can recall or that you see, let the other people's experiences here that they might share build you up. Let the stuff I share today be an encouragement to you that it is possible, right? And I personally would tell you that I've seen it more times than I'm capable of counting to. Like I probably, if I sat down for a long period of time, I could probably enumerate it all or list it in some way. But I'm ADD, so it would take even longer. Please do, Steve. I'd be more than happy for you to do that. Yeah, I want some links for the Steve Grossman interview, and guys, please check that out. Steve always has great stuff at his channel. Always good things. And be sure as well, if you could, Steve, once this video finishes, put a link in the comments, because that way it'll be there where people don't have to search through the chat feed to find it. It'll just be right there, in the final video. That'd be cool. And thank you for sharing it, though. Definitely appreciate that. Anybody, feel free to check that out. Share that interview all over the internet like mad. Share it in the Bears Unbearables app. Somebody stick it, archive it somewhere in the Bear Cave, Twitter, Facebook. Blow that stuff up with like counterculture to what we're seeing right now. People that teach us how to deal with insanities that we're going to face and turn it into positivity. And that's essentially what Grossman does. I mean, I'm really glad to hear that, Honky. I'm really, really glad to hear that. Charity, I empathize with you about the Asperger's. I know plenty of people that do, and it was even thought for a while that I did. I think that was an incorrect diagnosis, and it was not made by a doctor. So, I see people that. Well, yes, Honk, I appreciate it, man. Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll let you tell your story, man. I don't need to retell it for you. And by the way, I'll post that. I'll go back and repost the episode where you shared it, because it was one of my earlier episodes. Honky Bear shared a little bit of his life and things he's been through. Oh, Charity, you're definitely human. I have no doubt. Do you want to be not human? Do you want to be more of the furry character that you identify with? And by the way, remind me, what animal do you anthropomorphize with your costume? You don't have a particular creature that you embody? Oh, hyena. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you'd said hyena, but for some reason I was wondering if it was badger for some reason. I don't know why badger kept coming back up in my mind. I'm fairly certain that there are some objective reality standards that you can lock onto, and that can help ground you to know that ultimately you are a human being. Are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? I think she's serious, though. I mean, I take it at your face value. You got to know Charity, Dom. Charity's one. She came in here a few weeks back when I was in Alaska and joined us up. She thought that I had something to do with the furry culture, because I do make that comment in my description. It says for more furry, in parentheses, non-costume fun. And I was just kidding about that. Check out my other social media. And so I guess somehow that brought my video up in a chat she was looking for. And so as I get it right, Charity is part of the fursuiters, not mersuiters. Mersuiters would be those that engage in more of the obscure sexual practices and things like that in the furry culture. Charity says the fursuiters are more family friendly. Correct. Yeah, you're not a mersuiter. You are a fursuiter. That's the distinction I try to make. So you taught me something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was fascinating to me. Your introduction into these videos was probably one of the highlights for me, because I only know maybe a couple of people here and there that I've ever only a couple of people here and there I've ever met that are part of the furry culture in some way, shape, or form. So it's a blast to have people from all sorts of different backgrounds come here and be able to learn stuff from you, to be built up myself. Yeah, you're always welcome in this community. And like I say, check out Steve Pinder's stream. Check out Dom whenever he decides to stream. He and I both give everybody wrenches generally. Like the far left. Yeah, right. The uber left. We love them. We can still love them. We don't have to love what they do, right? That's a distinction that really helped me in life. And maybe not everybody makes it. I try to. You only have 7 wrenches left. They're going fast. Yeah, check out Boulder Bear. He will teach you how to tile. I was getting to you, brother, by the way. Nobody likes mersuiters. Excuse me. get into the Hangouts sometime. Somebody send Charity a link to the Hangout chats and get her involved. Like I say, go check out Booger Sugar. No, my nose is just like, I'll have days where my sinus, I have these phantom feelings like I've got bats in the cave, right? And it looks like I've been having a coke problem constantly. But no, it's just, I get self-conscious, especially when I'm on camera. Like, I don't want to have boogers hanging. I don't want to go back and look at videos of myself with a bogey hanging out. That's kind of gross. So there's nothing there, but it feels like there is, and I could go up and blow, and I probably will shortly. But at any rate, yeah. Somebody sent Old Bear a link. Somebody sent Charity a link somehow to Hangouts. Definitely get connected on. It's Google Hangouts. If you have a Google email address, which you obviously do if you're in YouTube, then yeah, the allergy stuff is kicking my butt. Right. Yeah, it's all Google stuff. We'd love to have you there, and we interact with people more. Check out Owen Benjamin's live streams. He's intense, but he's the reason that this stuff got started. He put together like the Bears largely. What's NVM? Is that never mind? Smack your head. Never mind. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee, and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies. That's an interesting quote. I'm curious what verse that's from. Bears sneeze before the hibernation. Oh, did you? I'm sorry. Well, that's not cool. There's other methods. There's other ways to catch people and get connected. Yeah, totally go to unbearablesapp.com and get verified. There's plenty of interesting, unique people to hang out with there. If you're on YouTube though, still, which apparently you are, great. Yeah, you're definitely welcome. We welcome Charity. More than welcome here. So John 15:18. Very cool. Oh, Psalm 139, 21 to 22. I see. That was Mayor's. Okay. It went down yesterday. Well, that's not cool. I know that the Jones site also went down, but it's back up. So that was a positive. I was glad to hear that. Again, yeah, like we don't have to agree with everybody. Like Alex Jones. I definitely don't agree with everything that Alex has to talk about, but I respect and appreciate his right to be able to say it. And yeah, I hate to see that like there's collusion to knock down all his stuff all at once. But the fact that his website's back up, I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, I'm glad to see Unbearable's app is working. That's a good thing. Keep us updated if you guys hear that stuff like that goes down, because we gotta build each other up through insane stuff that's coming. Well, I can understand that, Charity. I would feel awkward if that was going on too. Not everyone here is always fans of certain police out there, but at the same time, we definitely support the good cops that are out there as much as we can. I know several. I know a lot of different police, and many of the ones that I know are honorable, good people. I hope that there's more of that out there than bad, because I know that there's people that are corrupt and do horrible things. I just hope that we see as little of that as possible, and that the good ones can stand up and get rid of the negative stuff. So this is cool. This is really good. I was glad today to see people building each other up, even just here in the chat. Spread this stuff. Spread this attitude of encouraging people, right? I got to go. I got to get stuff done. I got to get my tires changed. I got to go teach people. Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt it's deeper, best answers. You're probably right. It's probably not the happiest time in the world there, is it, Charity? Hey, David. Good to see you. I didn't know you were here, but I'm glad you're here. Always good to see Analog Bear. That's a good stuff. Yeah, thanks, guys. I got to split. I love you all. Engage your mind, engage your heart, engage your mind, engage your body, engage your heart. I got to say my ending slogan, right? and seek to serve the ultimate purpose. And there's plenty of purpose in reducing suffering for those of us that are around here. Take the old Jordan Peterson thought right there. Look for suffering in the world and see how you can reduce it a little bit. Just try not to cause too much more suffering in the process. You guys are awesome. Love y'all. Have a great day. Pieces to you.